Hi, and welcome, Greater Heartland Region, KW family, whoever might be joining us today. And we're so excited to begin this journey of Ignite 2022, a brand new version of Ignite. And I'm excited to be here today with an amazing instructor to spark off this Ignite material. So my name is Clark Kendall. I serve as a regional technology trainer for the Greater Heartland Region, also MAPS coach within the MAPS community. I'm so excited to begin with Krista. Krista, introduce yourself.
I'm Krista Staub. I'm a MAPS leadership coach, and I'm so excited to be here and look forward to sparking off Ignite with you.
Yeah, so this Ignite, it's nothing, it's not a new term or something new within Keller Williams, and yet how we're presenting and some of the new content, it is new. So going to be fully transparent on here. This is the first dive into this new content, but also delivering it this way digitally. So you're either tuning in on Facebook Live or YouTube Live on your own, possibly by maybe a Google search, who knows, or really hope you get the opportunity that you're in the market center with your peers, with other agents, and having a dialogue and learning together. And so we're going to be able to speak a lot to focusing in on the activities and the conversations in the market center throughout Ignite, but also know that those of you all who might not be there still want you to feel engaged. So as we go along, as we ask questions, please be present here and put what you're learning in the comments, your ahas, what you're willing to commit to. We want to be with you as much as we can digitally. So, Chris, are we ready to get rolling?
Yes, we are.
All right. So, yes, we're in Ignite, and it is the skills to spark a career. At Keller Williams, we talk a lot about systems and models that are the foundations of a real estate business. And yet, while those systems and models there, Ignite is also going to, we'll present those to you. Yet we're also going to develop habits that we know that are successful for a career. So we're going to set some expectations on the beginning piece here. So I'll kind of walk through an agenda for the today, but also however you're showing up in this point, active participation. There's going to be conversations. There's going to be role play. Show up in that. The more you show up as that active participant, the more you're going to gain, and the more others will gain as well. Of course, we definitely want to make sure that there's a mutual respect with one another as we're all growing together. And also, if you're having to be in the market center or watching this, we want to make sure that you're ready to be here technology wise. So if you have a laptop or tablet, that's going to be important. Making sure they're charged, or you have access to power source. All those things are going to be important. And yet, also one piece here, we want to make sure you have the resources. So as we're going to be presenting 20 different sessions on the foundations of real estate business, we want to make sure that you have the participant guide. And so not only the participant guide, I want to walk through what our schedule is through those sessions. So I'm going to share my screen here and make sure that you're aware of the resource page that we have. So if you go to ignite.ghregion.com, I'm going to bring this up here real fast. Bear with me. There we go. And here we are. So on ignite.ghregion, this is going to be the homepage that you have. As a participant, you want to click on I'm a participant button here. And there's a checklist. And if you happen to not go through this checklist just yet and you're just watching, that's okay. But this is a resource to know how to show up ready to go. So first piece here is the participant guide. There's a PDF that you can download. It's the entire PDF for all 20 sessions. Okay, so it's a lot of pages. Yeah, we're only on we're on session 1. And as you go through the pages, you'll see 1.1, 1.2, that's session 1, page 2, 1.3 being session 1, page 3, and so on. So the participant guides here. Also know that you have the ability to put these sessions on your calendar. So if you have a Google Calendar or other one, you can put that on your calendar so you're aware when to join us in on YouTube or Facebook or the Market Center. But also check with your Market Center what their schedule is. How are they delivering these live streams? Also, a piece we'll talk about the daily success system. You want to make sure they're aware of that as well. Of course, if you want to see announcements and be reminded of when the next live stream or session is, go to Facebook and YouTube and subscribe, all those things, so you'll be able to be on top of when the next session is. Other pieces here for technology, we're going to dive a lot into scripts and best practices, and yet also building a database. So you want to make sure that if you're a Keller Williams agent, you have your command login, that you can log in and be aware what your password is, how to create a contact, how to log a contact activity, downloading the command app, the consumer app, all this checklist is here. All right, so make sure that you're familiar with that. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out in the comments or to your Market Center leadership. We'll make sure that that question is taken care of. But our schedule here is we're beginning on May 9th for this live stream. We'll go for a second session on May the 11th. Then we're going to take a break this Friday, right after Red Day. We're really excited. We'll talk more about that today. And then we'll go every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, absent of Juneteenth and Memorial Day. Okay. That schedule in a nutshell wraps us up right before 4th of July. So we get all 20 sessions, all the foundations to build your business before 4th of July. Krista, how's that sound?
Sounds awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. So I want to unshare this part of the screen here and bring in the pieces on the puzzle here. So this Ignite, what we're really excited about is the simplicity that it brings into understanding how to build your business. And there's 4 categories or really foundations and pillars that the Ignite content presents. And we call these the ELLT, and that is developing as an expert, that E of the ELLT, and also lead gen and lead follow-up and transacting. All right, so those are the 4 key objectives that we'll follow through. So all 20 sessions are within these 4 pillars. Okay, so the first one, that first pillar you see there, the real estate expert, that's sessions 1 through 4. Lead generations are sessions 5 through 9. Lead follow-up are days 10 through 13, and transaction are sessions 14 through 20. Okay, so by the end of the night, you'll be on the path to being a real estate expert of choice by, first, what I love, creating a robust value proposition for your business. Secondly, developing a lead gen system with the lead generation model that comes from the best-selling book and co-founder of Keller Williams and KWX executive chairman Gary Keller through the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Oftentimes, you might have heard it as the MREA or the Red Book. And thirdly, you're going to establish a lead follow-up system based on the KW Touch Plan. You get a simple plan to follow to make sure you have great follow-up in place. And the fourth expert of choice that you're developing here is practicing and perfecting the steps of the real estate transaction to get to a successful close. Of course, getting paid while we're in the business, right? Or a big part of why we're in the business. All right, so the goals are to end Ignite with 1 or more appointments. So you're looking like, okay, why would I invest time out of these sessions? At the end of this, what should I expect? The goal is to have 1 or more appointments and begin the process to working with possibly your first buyer or seller or that next buyer or seller so they can buy a home or sell a home. But the rich part of that is, yes, you'll see results if you commit to it. Throughout this process, you will develop habits that benefit your entire real estate career. These really are the basics, the foundation that Krista, you and I both know that our most successful real estate agents always come back to.
Absolutely.
All right. So while we're kind of go through this piece here, as with the real estate expert, this is session 1. This is Spark Your Career. And this is to get you acquainted with KW, right? Let's not make any assumptions. We want to make sure you're aware of who we are as Keller Williams and who we are as culture and what we do together and what value we intend to make good on our mission. And so through that high level view of KW and getting acquainted with Ignite, you're going to be able to apply the KW culture and your Market Center's culture into the way that you engage and you interact with others, those being your customers and your clients. Be able to tap into all the resources that KW offers, or at least getting insight of when those resources would be applicable to you and your business or serve your clients well. And yet what I'm most excited about is marrying those together to create a vision for your future and to set goals. So today is a little bit different. This first session, it might be a little bit longer and receiving a lot. But again, ask yourself, how do I see this as value in building my business, getting me where I need to go? So if you're aware, there's something called a daily success system within this Ignite. And we'll touch on what that is. But today, that daily success system is going to be put on pause. We'll dive into that daily success system on Wednesday, if you're doing this within your market centers and you're on schedule with us there. So at least in that sense, your market center may not be diving into the daily success systems now. So we'll put that on for Wednesday. Of course, if you're watching this live for the first time, like my market, I don't know anything. There's not anything on the schedule. That's okay. You will have the opportunity to understand what that daily success system is and to develop a plan on how to do it yourself or to find an accountability partner there. Okay. So here's our agenda for today as we're talking about Spark Your Career. We're going to go through a whole timeline here, but what we love about Ignite, and it all begins, before we talk about best practices and models and systems, it all begins with a new way of thinking. And that's what Ignite instills within us. It's all about having a successful mindset with no doubts. Now you might be saying, well, I already have doubts about my real estate. That's okay. We're going to identify and move past them together. So today we'll talk about an unlimited mindset fueled by one of my favorites, and I know Chris's favorites, the 6 personal perspectives. So we'll walk through that first of a new way of thinking. We'll then talk about KW culture, the value of working with KW and your market center, going through some KW resources that will set you up for success, your career vision, and the success system that's going to superpower your business throughout Ignite and of course. So Krista, let's get going. Are we ready to begin with our new way of thinking?
Absolutely. Let's jump on in.
All right.
So this is a quote from one of Gary Keller and his team's published books. Gary Keller is the founder and CEO of Keller Williams and one of the most influential people in the world in real estate. Mm-hmm. The quote expresses something that's so true to real estate. Real estate is a wonderful business and one where you can make a lot of money, run your own successful business or enterprise, and achieve your biggest dreams. And as the quote says, anyone can do it. Not everyone will. Let me ask you, will you? So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to take a couple minutes and we're going to go off camera and you're going to get a partner and you're going to discuss your thoughts around this quote. So take a minute or two and we'll see you when we come back.
Yeah. So I'll take Kristen off screen. We didn't leave. Take 2 minutes, discuss this. Again, if you're by yourself, take a pause. And that impactful question. Here we go. All right, Krista, we're back.
All right. We're back. Yes. So I trust at the end of Ignite, you will be lit up with possibilities of your own success and you will do it. Mm-hmm. Anyone can do it. Not everyone will. Will you?
All right. So we're going to jump into the 6 personal perspectives there. And so a piece of this mindset of getting your mind right, getting real and getting right does begin with our mind. So ask yourself the question, would you like to know that the key to success and abundance
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It begins with the 6 personal perspectives. And so this is something that Gary had modeled out throughout his life and understood high achievers and what perspectives and how they view the world and themselves. And so there are ways that successful people who've come before us, how they think and how they approach problems or challenges. And so really it's a mindset of success. And it's not these perspectives aren't just about real estate. This is just success in general and how the successful people view the world. So these came about again, Gary researching with successful people, asking the question, hey, what differentiates those successful people who achieve at the highest level from those who maybe don't seem to accomplish as much? So from those answers, he discovered these common perspectives and they work in unison, yet the cool thing is that they don't stand alone and they work most effectively in the order show. Because when we go through the 6 personal perspectives, there's an order to them. So embracing and committing to all these will absolutely help you achieve success, not only in real estate, but your life. So let's explore them together.
All right. So the first perspective is that all high achievers commit to self-mastery. Notice it did not say commit to mastery. It said commit to self-mastery. What's the difference? Well, self-mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you master you. When you commit to achieving self-mastery, you know your goals. Think about it. Do you know what your goals are? Know your strengths and weaknesses. Are you familiar with what your strengths are, which can catapult your business forward? And do you know what your weaknesses are that can hold you back? Know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses and seek mastery. Seek the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. Throughout Ignite, you will be acquiring the skills and developing the habits of successful agents, moving you towards self-mastery. Think about it. Think about it. Are you committed to self-mastery? That is, are you committed to knowing your goals, strengths, and weaknesses? Are you committed to acquiring the knowledge, skills, and habits to be as successful in this business?
Chris, that's a great question. And no matter at what point I've been in my business or opportunity within Keller Williams, this one is always a gut check for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I realized in self-mastery and answer that, like I like to say yes, and yet I realize that this it's an unending journey.
It is.
It really is. Yeah. But the cool thing is if I do commit to that, what I need to commit to get to where I want to go. Yes, the business grows, or yes, that opportunity grows. But what's really, really cool is I've grown in the process.
Absolutely. And are you always seeking self-mastery? Ask yourself, how do I know I mastered something? Do you know? Or are we always seeking mastery because we never acquire it? I believe if you answer the question for yourself by being here today, you are committed to self-mastery and you're committing to Ignite.
Yeah, 100% agree. Absolutely agree. So we're going to go on to the second perspective here, and that is to commit to the 80-20 principle. Again, these are building blocks. They're building on one another in this priority. And so the idea here is that 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results. I want to pause. Right? Say that again, that the idea that 20% of your actions that lead to 80% of your results. So this is one of the most powerful principles that you can apply in your life. It's about getting the most out of your time and effort. It's about maximizing your results, and it's about having focus. So sometimes you'll hear within Keller Williams trainings or within the walls, the hallways of the market center, that these 20% activities, I got to do my 20%, or I'm focused on my big rocks, or my one thing. It's all on this principle, the 80-20 principle. These are the dollar productive activities, the most impactful to achieve your desired results for your business. So again, a question to ask yourself. We're asking a lot of questions here, Krista. These are meaningful, right? Where's your mind at through all these? Right. And how do you envision real estate? What preconceived notions do you have about real estate? How you step into it from these questions? So what would you guess is the most dollar productive activity, that 20% of a real estate agent?
Social media posts?
Ooh, yeah. Networking. Networking. Definitely networking, right? Like
Lead generation?
yeah, it is. That's the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It is lead generation. We'll talk a lot about lead generation. Again, the habits that you're going to build, it's all focused around lead gen and lead follow, building those relationships. And so we're so excited for you to learn more about it, or that step into your next spot of self mastery. So to Ignite, we're going to identify the 20% for you, right? And it is that lead generation, your money making activity. So when you commit to that, you're going to make more money, and you're going to have more time with your family, and you'll be more organized.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of distractions in this industry. And so if you're focused on that, and you have more time with your family, you are more organized, that's pretty great. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the skills of being an agent. The more organized you are, the smoother your business runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
So moving on from E to P, entrepreneurial to purposeful. This is the third perspective that top performers recognize and understand, is how to move from being entrepreneurial, the E, to P, which is purposeful. All of us can attain a certain level of success utilizing our natural abilities, which we all have. We all have that entrepreneurial side. And we can also expect to hit a ceiling at some point. For example, let's say as a kid, you got really good at doing cartwheels. I actually think I did get really good at doing cartwheels.
You did. I did not. Yes, you did. I know you did.
Did having that a natural ability allow you to perform in a circus? I didn't do that. Most likely, the answer is no. You need to move from entrepreneurial, which is doing the cartwheels, to more purposeful cartwheels. And you need to practice and work with a coach or sometime before you can perform in the circus. Likewise, we all hit a ceiling of achievement by relying on our own natural abilities alone. And the way we break through ceilings, our ceilings of achievement, is to get to purposeful. What does it mean to get to purposeful? It means focusing on the models and systems that organize you and your task into the most efficient and effective endeavor possible. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have an example of a time when they reached a ceiling of achievement?
Yeah. So, Chris, I love that question, and that kind of brings us to our first little activity here. So, ask yourself and share. So, however, market centers, depending on how many people are in there, or again, if you're listening to this on your own, think of a time where you reached a ceiling of achievement. Doesn't have to be in real estate. If you've got that first ceiling identified, let's talk about that. And think about that ceiling of achievement for example, in a time in your life. And we want you to share this. Right? This is where it becomes powerful, and you can show up for others and yourself. So if you're in the market center, pair up, share that time you had reached that ceiling of achievement. So actually, Krista, we're going to give 5 minutes for this, for those folks that are in the market center. Those are tuning in live, to give them the space to do this. Of course, again, if you're listening to yourself, take this 5 minutes to think about that. Share it with somebody if you happen to be in the same room. Right? So share that experience of a ceiling of achievement. So we'll get our timer going here. We'll let you know, of course, how many minutes are remaining, but we'll take 5 minutes to share that. All right, welcome back. I trust that was a good reflective exercise for you and your partner. And so ceilings are important, right? And many of whether it's you or others that you might have known, when they've left a salary job for a career and a business in real estate, they say they hit a ceiling in how far they were promoted or how much they got paid. That's what led them into real estate. Well, here's the truth that high achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. And so by doing this, by looking for that purposeful way, you'll be able to break through your ceiling of natural behavior. Right? Because I know by being here that you want to achieve a success and break through that ceiling. Right? You want to be able to live a larger life. And so know that Ignite, yes, it's here to start your business. It helps you grow your business. It's going to help you move from entrepreneurial to purposeful with a mindset, models and systems, and breakthroughs, new habits to break through that ceiling. All right. So we're going to move ahead here to the next perspective and make sure we are on the right one here. Sorry about that. Being learning based the foundation of your action plan. So being learning based. So a learning based individual appreciates learning for their own improvement. Right? They know what they know, and they know there's always more to know. So an individual who does not appreciate learning is what's often referred to as ignorance based. They know that they know what they know, and then they ignore everything else. There's nothing else to learn. Right? So learning based individuals, they have a decision. And they have a decision to make if they want to use effective learning as a foundation piece for their action plan and develop their life and those they influence. So training and education are a big part of moving forward to attain goals and of course succeed at the high level. So learning-based individuals that commit to a process of acquiring skill-based habits. So yeah, we're here to Ignite. And so this is just possibly the beginning start for you as a learning-based individual as it relates to real estate. Right? So you will learn about many more ways to learn opportunities available for you at Keller Williams, and we'll actually go through some of those today. And yet know that whatever has come up to this point in life and you started real estate, there are going to be new skills. There are going to be new habits, right? It's going to require growth and then tapping into ways that you were learning based before or growing yourself maybe for the first time, being more learning based than you ever have. If being learning based will accelerate your growth and those skills. So here's a quote by Albert Einstein here. And it says, I am neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. I love that quote. There's so much richness and a gift in curiosity. So being learning based means staying in curiosity and being eager to learn more. Some of the most fabulous realtors are growing big businesses are curious people. They're always asking questions, always wanting to learn more. Right? Not that they would have to take everything into action, because there is a lot to learn. You'll receive a lot, but being curious and knowing how that fits in with what you want to do. All right, so we're going to move on to our other fifth perspective here, and that is removing limiting beliefs. High achievers remove beliefs that hold them back. Remove beliefs that hold them back. So what are limiting beliefs? Well, they're mindsets, things that are long embedded that limit you and limit your opportunity. So like we see some here on this slide here, right? I don't have enough time for training, or I can't be successful in this market. I can't devote 3 hours to lead generation every day. So we all have limiting beliefs. That's a truth. You're not alone with any hesitancies and go into action or things that I can't do this for whatever reason. You're not alone. And so think through, are any of these possible thoughts presently in your head? I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. That was one of mine. I don't know how I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year and beyond for sure. I don't feel comfortable talking to people about real estate. The business will come to me naturally. I don't need lead generation. Are any of those in your head right now, lingering under the surface? So in order to successfully develop at a higher level, you must clear out your mind of those limiting beliefs first. So throughout Ignite, you're going to learn how to combat your limiting beliefs and turn them into actions. All right. So going back to these questions, what limiting beliefs are you having right now as you embark on this new career? All right, so we're going to do an activity here, another activity. Get ready. I want you to refer to the Reframe Limiting Beliefs activity in your participant guides. And that should be, I want to make sure that we do have the correct one. Yes, page 1.8 in your participant guide. So on this page here, you'll see you're going to read the limiting beliefs below, and you're going to add one or two of your own limiting beliefs. Here's the richness in this activity. We want to rewrite these each sentence into a belief that is positive, and it's going to propel you into action. All right. So here's an example. All right. The first one here, I have to be an expert, know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. We can change that. To walk through this, you're on this participant guide 1.8. On that first line, we're going to rewrite this one as an example. I am eager and confident to start my business now and learn along the way. I'll say that again. I am eager and confident to start my business now and learn along the way. So we're going to go through each. I want you to go through each and every single one of these 4 limiting beliefs, yet also take time to think through your own. Okay. Now this is going to take some time. I would recommend doing 2 or 3. So in 5 minutes, if you find yourself getting close to that 5-minute mark, make sure you get your limiting beliefs written down before time ends. Right. So maybe work through, if you have time to work through all of them, great, and write your limiting beliefs and work through them, great. Yet take time, take a moment to think through what am I hearing myself, right? What are current fears that are on the surface? Take time to do that. If you don't happen to take time to do it, or can't get to that point now, carve out time and we'll do this later. So we are, again, going to roll through this activity here. I want to set the timer for 5 minutes, and we'll see you back here. Individual work here, again, page 1.8. Let's walk through this together. All right, we are back. Oftentimes a sobering exercise here, but one key piece here to think through. If you wrote down some very, very powerful, or either those ones that were listed on that participant guide's like, yep, that's my limiting belief, and either one of those four, or the ones that you wrote down as you wrote a powerful affirmation. Keep that affirmation in front of you. Revisit it daily. All right. Affirmations are powerful. We have enough stuff telling us that we can or that we can't do stuff. We need to tell ourselves and surround ourselves with those positive messages. So whether it's where you presently work or while you're making calls or doing lead generation, keep that affirmation in front of you. Right. And visit it, because that is your truth. That is true of what you want and what you can become. All right. So we're going to move on forward here to the next and last perspective. That is be accountable. Be accountable. So I'm going to ask you and answer this in your mind. What does being accountable mean to you? What does being accountable mean to you? There might be a lot of thoughts around that, or maybe uncertainty around it. So think that through. What does accountable mean to you? Maybe write a note there in your guide. But accountability is first and foremost a perspective to provide here. It's an attitude and an approach to your entire life. I'll say again, accountability is first and foremost an attitude and an approach to your entire life. So an accountable person, this is kind of what this model walks through here, that an accountable person says everything is in my life as a result of my choices and actions. I own my life. So accountability is a tool for continually changing the results in your life in those areas that matter most. Your 20%. Talked about that, right? The areas that matter most, your 20%. So a person who is accountable in their 20% says, I own my life, and in certain areas, I want to continually improve my results. I will be purposeful, and I will learn, and I will be learning based in that and to continue improving. So Ignite will provide you the tools, of course, to develop and cultivate your accountability to be successful. So again, what does being accountable mean to you? Hopefully let's change that perspective. Another layer, deeper question here. What are some ways that you can be accountable right now? What are ways that you can be accountable right now? So things might be coming through. If you have any ideas, shout them out in the room or wherever you might be watching that. Write them down in your notebook. And yet know that through Ignite, we're going to provide that accountability, right? Having an accountability partner, we're going to set that up. You might have a productivity coach in your market center, right? Or a coach, whether it's a MAPS coach or a mentor, right? Somebody who's alongside with you to keep you accountable. So remember that you can reach the absolute highest level of achievement in business, in your business course of your life, by adopting all these 6 personal perspectives. Every single one of these. Okay. So good there. All right. So moving on here, this is an important quote to move here. Happiness is not an individual sport. Happiness is not an individual sport. So this quote, yes, it's about happiness, yet it also applies to the business as well. Your business, your success in business, it's not an individual sport. Gary Keller has said many, many times, I've heard him many, many times say, no one succeeds alone. Think about the point where you've gotten in life and all your big successes. there had to be somebody coming along with you in that success. So going through here, embrace this last idea of the personal perspectives of being accountable. Find a mentor, find a coach. Well, in the next section, you'll have the opportunity to find an accountability partner. So get prepped for that. Lean into that accountability. Someone wants you to succeed just as much as you want to succeed. There's people, there's encouragers, there's cheerleaders there for you. Be accountable within that opportunity. All right, so you'll notice throughout of Ignite, we had these times where we talk about sharing ahas, and because they're powerful, they're meaningful insights that come from reflection. Right? We've already gotten through quite a bit here, yet these ahas are time to actually reflect and share and hear from others. You might have heard a little acronym, if you've been in Keller Williams at all, that ahas could be an acronym for agents helping agents. So in these ahas, absolutely write them down. So it's a good idea to jot down ahas in your participant guide, right? Things that were light bulb moments for you. This resonated. This spoke to me. I need to think more about this because I know there's a lot there, and this speaks to something that I feel like I needed. Write those ahas down in your participant guide. All right. So we're going to get a little bit in the practice of sharing ahas, right? Together. Because again, I love that acronym, AHA, being agent helping agents. So we're going to take a brief 3 minutes, and share within your market center if you're there, or take this time if you happen to be working on this through on your own. Write down your ahas and share them with someone. Text somebody, text your coach, text your team leader, your accountability partner, whoever it is. If you're working on this on your own, text it to them. All right, so go ahead and share those ahas in your market center or begin writing them down. We'll take 3 quick minutes to do this. See you soon. All right, and we are back again. And so we're going to be moving on from the 6 personal perspectives, and we're going to move on to the next part of our agenda. We're going to talk about KW. Who are we as KW? The folks that you've chosen to align your business with. So we're going to walk through KW culture, and then right after that, go through KW value, your market center value, and also resources at KW that you want to definitely be aware of. So let's jump into this. KW culture. If you spend any time in KW or even just a moment in a market center, this word has come up, right? I'm sure that it has. And so Keller Williams, we're big on mindset, right? And so we're also big on models and systems based on the proven success strategies of those who have found success before us, standing on the shoulders of giants, right? So our job is to take advantage of all this collective wisdom so we can be highly successful as well and make this our chosen career for life, right? So how does culture involved in this? And so this whole page here, this is devoted to the culture on KW Connect, our company intranet. It's our resources available to every single one of you all. So in fact, our culture is the number one reason why they say they chose Keller Williams. So today we're going to focus on three elements of those culture: the MVVBP, Red Day, and KW Cares. All right. So this little page here, if you go to KW Connect, you click on KW Culture. It's at resources at the top. You'll see this page to be able to dive more into resources. But we're going to get an overview of the MVVBP, Red Day, and KW Cares. So MVVBP, that stands for mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. All right. So we're going to take time to focus on the missions and beliefs of KW. For our mission, so powerful here. We at Keller Williams, it is our mission to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Every time I read that, it hits me at a different level, more and more impactful for me, because I see it lived out year in, year out that I'm with this company. So Ignite focuses on building these careers worth having. This is the foundation. This is where we're starting, just to invite you in the mission of Keller Williams. Of course, the intention here is to build businesses worth owning as well. Many KW agents have built businesses worth owning and are living the great life that they envisioned for themselves. It's reality for them now. And many KW agents have grown to the point where they're achieving fulfillment by providing experiences for others and laying foundations for their legacy that is worth leaving. By the end of Ignite, it's our hope that you're tasting that you're seeing this lived out. So we'll revisit the mission and explore your thoughts on a life worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. So this isn't the last time you'll definitely hear about this. Okay, but that is our mission. All right, so going into the KW belief system, part of that MVVBP is the B beliefs. So we call them the Y4C2Ts. Yes, the Y4C2Ts. So we've taken all the letters that you see on the left-hand side of the slide here and made them into a word, the Y4C2Ts. And so what I do want to spend time on reading through each one of these. All right. The W is win-win or no deal. I is for integrity, do the right thing. C is customers always come first. C is commitment in all things. C is communication, seek first, understand. Creativity, ideas before results. T, teamwork, together everybody achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. And success results through people. So every single one of those are so powerful, right? And these are what we ascribe to, what we believe. This is how we live out all the things that we're able to do in our lives, but through Keller Williams. Yet I want to take time to discuss E, equity, for a minute. So bear with me here. This is a new addition and a powerful, welcome, needed addition into our belief systems. All right. So know this. In 1968, there was a bill that was passed. All right. It's called the Fair Housing Act, and it made it illegal to discriminate concerning the sale, rental, right, financing of housing based on those important things about us as humans: race, religion, national origin, color, gender, identity, and sexual orientation. So this law, it actually expanded to prohibit that discrimination based on disability or family status. It was expanded on in 1988. All right, so NAR, or the National Association of Realtors, they reminds us hey, that we are stewards of the rights of all to own, use, and transfer property. And it's our responsibility. We must protect the free market that depends on equal opportunity. Right? We get to live this out more than anybody as realtors. We're dealing with dreams of all people in home ownership, or actually to have a shelter for a rental, or investing. Like, that is a dream, and we are at the center of that. So we all must hold ourselves responsible to protect those housing rights in our country. So in addition to being open to diverse clients and their needs, it's just good business. Yet it's also at the heart of who we are. All right. So through Ignite, we'll present more about equity, diversity, and inclusion, and how, of course, yeah, it can benefit your business, but also being the good stewards that we need to be as realtors. So there's a lot of opportunity to learn more about this. So I cannot recommend uh, any more highly to consider the color of real estate. All right. So there's KW classes. You can find them at kwconnect.com. Ask your market center leadership. Yet the color of real estate and unconscious bias within real estate. Two phenomenal courses. And even more, a layer here, there's actually a certification. If you take both of those, there's a certification, then you could ascribe to being the agent of distinction. So there's another layer of certification there on that path myself. Excited about that. All right. So what we're going to actually do here next, we're going to be within an activity in the activity guide here. And it's going to be, I want to make sure again that we have this activities on page 1.10. So make sure on 1.10 in your activity guide. So here you're going to pick a belief, right? You're going to pick a belief in that participant guide and detail in a sentence or two how you will embody that belief in your real estate work. All right. So you're going to take one of those beliefs from the Y4C2Ts above, and then you're going to detail in a sentence or two how you are going to embody that belief in your real estate work. All right. So I want to make sure that we're clear on this. Right. So if I were to take the first one here, win-win or no deal, something I definitely personally ascribe to all of these, and yet to start at the top, one that's very meaningful for me, win-win or no deal. In all my conversations, whether with business partners or in working with clients, I want to make sure that me serving them and them being my client, it's a win for them. I'm getting them to where they want to go, right? And also it helps my business. So in a sentence that I could write this out, okay, I'm going to embody that win-win or no deal, that I would not push any client to make a decision that's not best for them, or not going to get them to where they want to go. I will not take that. I could also say this: I would not take on a client to where my services are invalued or not valued. All right. So that would be a way to kind of write out that belief system. So choose one of those, one of the Y4C2Ts, and write a sentence or two of how you would embody that. You would live that out. All right. So we're going to take 3 minutes for this one here. We're going to take 3 minutes for this activity. We'll come back. Okay, we're also back. So again, hopefully that was a meaningful exercise. Challenge you, maybe take one of these a week and walk through how you would embody each and every single one of those. What I love about walking through this exercise and being um, understanding how I embody those, this becomes an additional anchor to my value proposition to clients. Why work with me? Well, here's what we believe at Keller Williams and how I live that out in our relationship as your agent and you being my client. Boom, I can go with it. Right. Okay. We are on to Red Day and KW Cares. So these are important components of our culture, right? In KW. Um, Now your culture are within KW, you're going to hear a lot about Red Day. And actually, by the time we're actually this week, we're at Red Day, at least when this live stream is going on. So May 12th, right? Every single year we talk about Red Day. So you've probably heard of these, right? Or if you haven't, you're going to hear about them very, very soon. And so know that Red Day, it actually began back in 2009. And Red Day, it's an acronym of itself. So we got a lot of acronyms, but they're good acronyms. RED stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. So it's a day of pouring into our communities across the globe, and occurs again on the second Thursday of May each year. Okay, second Thursday of May happens to be May 12th this year. Now, so much has been done through this Red Day. We've built new homes from the ground up. We've gathered and distributed food to those who need it. Organized relief efforts. When natural disasters hit, there's a big, awesome red semi that goes and it provides relief for those natural disaster areas, and even spread joy through raising funds through KW Cares. And so it's really, really such an encouragement and so much a part of our culture that it can't be missed. This is something you can't miss about who we are at Keller Williams. So KW Cares is another way that this charitable arm of KW is lived out. And so it's a 501c3 nonprofit. It's dedicated, of course, serving KW associates. So where Red Day kind of is an outreach, consider like KW Cares, kind of like an inreach. And so it's for KW associates, qualifying family members that have experienced any possible hardship as a result to kind of a sudden emergency. And so KW Cares, it provides financial grants and aid when these unforeseen emergencies kind of create difficult circumstances that our KW associates and their immediate families maybe cannot possibly overcome on their own. So KW Cares has given away millions in this avenue in this way. So this is the very heartbeat of Keller Williams in culture and action. We strive to find and serve the higher purpose of business through these charities and giving in a way that embodies our values rooted in giving, caring, and sharing. So know, yes, you can participate in both Red Day and KW Cares. And again, let the world know. I mean, this is who we are, and there's no reason to hide this, to keep it under wraps. I mean, you've aligned yourself with a company that embodies this. And if it resonates with you, let people know about it, right? Your business it'll attract people that are drawn to that into your business, new clients that are drawn to that. As you possibly grow your business and want to provide opportunities for others and talent, they're going to be drawn to that. So celebrate it. Let people know. All right. So from here, would encourage you to write some more ahas about our KW culture, our mission, our Y4C2Ts, Red Day, jot down some notes, something new that you learned, and we would share with others, right? So next, we're kind of go wrapping into the KW value and the MC, or your market center's value here. So moving on in our agenda here for the day, I want you to go ahead and go to page 11, maybe 1.11 if you're looking at that digitally, to bring in some of these resources that we have available to us. Okay. Now, within our KW world, something that we really want to put on the front end, right, of who we have become and what we've been able to accomplish. That's coming with some accolades, some awards within here. All right. But yeah, before we get there, I want to share a brief bit of some milestones. So since 1983, right, once Keller Williams has became a company, we have cultivated agent-centric and technology-driven, education-based culture that rewards you as agents, the stakeholders. So Keller Williams, we're the world's largest global real estate franchise by agent count. So we have over 1,100 offices, over 200,000 associates. Broke through that threshold this just not too long ago, a couple months ago. KW is also number one in units, meaning number of transactions and sales volume in the United States. And we are at the forefront of technology, training, and of course, what we talked about, culture. So one thing also be aware of, KWX. KWX is a holding company, Keller Williams. And so that's comprised just Keller Williams Realty that you might know within the local offices here or regionally or beyond. We're a part of a larger holding company that includes, yes, Keller Williams Realty. It also includes Keller Williams Worldwide, our real estate offices outside of the United States. Also consists of Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered. They're all designed to serve you, the agent. So we're going to dive a bit into these today. But here's some statistics by year end of 2021, right? Now, there's updated stats you could find at headquarters.kw.com. And yet, I'm going to just take a moment to celebrate these because these are no small milestones whatsoever. So we are the top franchise for veterans in 2021, top female-friendly company. Awesome. Top 500 franchises in 2022, world's best employers, America's best customer experience, America's best employers for women and new grads, best employers for diversity in 2021. And there's more that are coming. And you might have seen posts about that, right? So take a moment to think about how we're not only just being identified by our agents and associates of what we're able to do, but outside of it, our clients, our customers are aware of the great things that we're doing as well. Okay. Now, so I'm going to bring this back to it. How does being a part of this, being a part of KW benefit you and your customers? Well, let's think this through, right? We have the services of Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered offers to the people that you know, but also be able to be identifying these pieces to set yourself up to give you that validity. Utilize these stats, utilize this reality, the awards that we've accomplished, the recognition that we've achieved as a company, it's yours too. So if you had a limiting belief, I don't have validity yet, you do. You've aligned yourselves with Keller Williams. So use these stories, right? Share these stories. So definitely consider sharing this with agents outside of KW, right? There's more KW family members. We love to understand what it looked like to be a part of our company. Share it with them too. Right. So again, we'll later discuss this a bit to understand how to grow that opportunity outside of KW. And yet I want to move on to specifically training and coaching. Now, there's an option here that we could go into kwconnect.com. And there is so much there. And that is our hub. It's our library for all the resources. Yet I'm just going to talk about this briefly and allow you to get the opportunity to go look at it later. So yes, we're known at Keller Williams for our stellar coaching and training, having earned, of course, all those top awards from that you saw previously, but also from Training Magazine for over 4 years. And we're in the exclusive Hall of Fame for training from Training Magazine. So KW, we recognize, hey, that importance of the value of training, courses like Ignite, coaching programs like Bold, and so much more. But training's offered in several different ways to make it accessible as possible and to adapt to your learning style. So you'll be able to access content on both Connect, an internet website, and via Connect Live, accessible even through Command. Some portions are being available there. And so there's a complete on-demand library available for whenever you need it in kwconnect.com. I would encourage you, though, to be purposeful. Go into kwconnect.com looking for a training solution to a particular problem you have. All right, because it's easy to get possibly lost in the abundance of knowledge and best practices to be shared there. Okay, there's also two big, let's think this through. This Ignite is being offered via Facebook and YouTube Live or being streamed in your market center, right? So your market center, it's a classroom, it's a training room, right? So there's going to be so much that is there. You'll also become more aware of training opportunities we have within our region of Greater Heartland, or if you happen to be watching this outside of our region, whether it's career visioning or win with sellers, win with buyers, quantum lead, business planning clinic, so much that is being offered. But also know that there's 2 big annual events that we want you to be clear about. Now, where training and coaching and networking excels at a higher level than nowhere else. Family Reunion happens over several days in February, and we have Mega Camp that happens over several days in August. Both are available for you to attend, right? So think back through, those limiting beliefs and identify, okay, based on those limiting beliefs, yes, I got an affirmation around it. What training, what environment could I put myself in to enhance that belief, that affirmation, right? Make the foundation being learning based, definitely a part of your action plan. Now, one piece that I definitely am more attuned to, and just as my role as regional technology trainer, is the value of our technology. All right. Now, again, I'm not going to go into command. We'll actually have opportunity to do that in later sessions. And yet, I'm going to ask you a question here. How would you think about this? How would you like a personal assistant right off the bat, having a personal assistant in your real estate career to stay connected with you, your clients, your potential clients, that the assistant reminds you of deadlines, reminds you of appointments, who to connect with each day, track the progress of every deal, and you'd be able to do that in real time and be able to project your income. Having an assistant that would also do all those things with no extra cost to you. That'd be pretty awesome. I think so, right? Well, you've got it. All right. You've got a great piece of technology, that personal assistant, that first leverage that you want to be very, very clear on how it works for you. All right. So KW believes absolutely that technology exists to simplify everyday life. All right. Making room for what truly matters, what you want more of, and giving you the freedom to be more human and more present. Technology should not be complicated. All right. So home and business increasingly coexist in this virtual life that we have, especially being through COVID or where we're at in this current state of quarantine life and are coming out of it. And so now that technology is so much part of our world, KW Tech provides you with the right tools. Those resources help maintain your business at the highest level. So Command is the homepage for every agent's business. It's one place you can go to operate potentially everything that you need, especially to get started. All right. So something to consider out of the folks that might be in the room here, or yourself, or the conversations you have, how many have gotten into Command already? And think to yourself, if an outsider were to ask you about Command, how would you describe it? How would you describe it? And you might just say, hey, yeah, we got tech. We got some tech and it helps me with my database. And that's a place where actually I got to go get paid. Hopefully those aren't the cases. I'd like to change that perspective a little bit. Here's all the things that Command can do for you. Command is your database of names and contact information, right? Like the contacts in your phone, but with a lot more information, way to dive into deep relationships with them. It's got a goal tracker. You enter your goals in for yourself for the month and the year, and it tracks your activities, your conversion rates, your projected income. It's also a task manager, be able to track all the things that you're committed to completing. It's got a marketing suite. It's got newsletters, postcards, door hangers, social media posts, even presentations, flyers that you can use, quarterly magazines, one of my favorite, all kinds of marketing materials, all within the same spot in Command. It's got a referral network. So as you're reaching out to your database that might not live in your service area, you can find them a great agent. You can still make it a win-win to make sure they have a great agent and you get a nice referral fee there. So we have the referral network in order to connect and find that perfect agent down the street where that agent is excelling and a local expert. So asking that again, how would you communicate it? Well, yes, it's definitely your platform, your place to go to run end to end of your business. And yet we want to simplify it. It's going to be a journey to learn all your technology and what makes sense. And what I really want you to encourage you to look through it is based on the new habits I'm building in Ignite. That's having conversations with people, being able to connect with them, write notes that requires addresses, right? We want to gain contacts. We're going to gain that contact information, just start growing our database. That's step one, right? Possibly put blinders on all the rest until we start having these conversations and growing that database, that contact number, right? So Also, alongside command, which you kind of see here, this is the slide that you have. This is the visual, the desktop version of command. We also have a pocket interface. Call it command in the hand in your KW command app. So this app, it'll remind you of things you need to do, just like yes, command would do on the desktop, but giving you notifications, timely notifications for that. It's going to store all your contacts, and it's going to allow you to make notes on the go, to put your tasks in there, prompt you to want to make call or how calls have gone, to record that conversation. And so it's also going to give you access for client data, how to track your contacts and leads in real time. And also you can text contacts directly through the app, which is pretty phenomenal. So you'll have an opportunity to download this. And if you've gone to this part, or if your market center has taken you to ignite.ghregion.com and that participant page there's a checklist of checking off your technology to-dos that will be able to run and hit the ground running with Ignite. All right, so make sure you can log into command. You can add a contact. It's okay if you haven't. We'll do that in the next section. But add a contact. Definitely download the command app and also another app here that I want you to be aware of. And that is your consumer app. Right. So we have KW command app, but this is, as it says KW app here, this is the consumer app. And this app, as it's noted there, this is for your consumers, your potential clients. It's a separate app than the command app, but it's also for you. Like get familiar with this, have fun with this yourself, search for homes. All right, but take a step back here. This is your consumer facing, it's your counterpart to command. Your contacts, as they're in your database in command, if we connect them with the app, well, they can search by neighborhood, zip code, school district, actual schools. There's an elementary school boundary they're looking for in a home. They can do that too. And so you'll be able to directly in time to communicate with clients, keep track of showings, and be the first to know when clients are going to start or stop their search. There's a lot here. And I would encourage you to start playing around with this, create some saved searches yourselves, some collections. Just start clicking around and get familiar with it itself. This app's totally branded to you. That's one of the glorious things about it, that you have your own branded app that as you send this out, they're immediately connected with you. And you can track everything they're doing in command. If they look at a property, if they favorite hard property, if they create a new saved search, you'll be able to see that once you log into command and be able to best respond and help them. All right, so I'm going to go to this next portion here, and I'm going to put a little caveat to this, all right? So we're going to shift away from general resources, KW Connect, the app, our technology, our training, all these things, all the Market Center has, but I'm going to narrow focus in on the Market Center, because there's going to be tools that come up and your Market Center may offer to you that we want to put on your radar, okay? So, we've reviewed the general value proposition of Keller Williams, and now, okay, we're going to look at specifically where does Market Center value arise. So what you see here is a general template of what we call the language of real estate, the language of real estate. And so this is something that your Market Center may possibly deliver monthly, or you might have to request. I don't know, just ask your Market Center leadership of what these numbers look like for your Market Center. But generally speaking, to go through this, I'm going to ask you, what do you see here? If we're going to focus on the far left-hand side, of course, we see my Market Center. What else do you see here? See closed units, closed volume, how many listings taken, what was that listings taken volume, how many listings were sold. These are Market Center numbers. Right now, right here, these are blank templates, but I'm gonna ask you to understand that these are specific to your Market Center. The cool thing is that as we provide this language of real estate, this is a story to tell that become your numbers. You're a part of a team. We 100% are one team at Keller Williams. We want to see everybody succeed. When you align with Keller Williams, yes, you align with our culture. You align with all those accolades we have, but you also aligned yourself with the success we found in production and taking market share. Right? So ask yourself, okay, maybe what these numbers tell you as you understand them from your Market Center, but how would they help you express value to your clients? Oftentimes we see this lore, what we call language of real estate, lore for short, being compared to the local board or the MLS. Our numbers most oftentimes exceed what is being done in the local market. That's a story to share to your clients. When you work with me, you get better results because I've aligned myself with Keller Williams and we get results. All right. So Again, I'm going to defer the market centers to be able to communicate what that lore is and reach out to your market center leadership if you have more questions. Now, I know we had shared the MVVBP, the mission, and at least the beliefs of Keller Williams. Yet also know that your market center possibly might have a more specific MVVBP, right? Yet I'm going to go through these because the categories that we see here, the market center MVVP, if it's different than Keller Williams, that's something good that you want to know. That's something you want to key in on. But also know that KW Cares and Red Day is lived out locally through your market center, and you want to be aware of how they do that. But when we move over to leadership team and ALC members, okay, make sure you're able to fill out or you know these roles. So on this slide here, you see OP, team leader, assistant TL, market center administrator, market center tech trainer, my peeps, your ALC members. Do you know these people? All right. Because all those people that are on the right-hand side of this slide here, and you'll see a spot in your participant guide for this, they're here to see you win. They're here to grow your business. They're your partners. You need to know them. Do you know them? Now, we'll actually take some time to identify this here in just a moment. But before we do, I also want to take time to talk about what is probably our culture, how our culture is best lived out. That's through profit share and growth share. So you've likely heard about profit share when you joined Keller Williams and you chose a sponsor. Right? So when you choose that sponsor, you automatically become a part of the profit share system. Right? And so you made your sponsor, that sponsor, the person you chose, eligible to share in the market center's profit. All right. So let's take a step back. So what's exactly profit share? Well, it's completely, entirely, wholly, and absolutely passive income. What's passive income? Well, it's money you receive without really doing anything actively to earn it. Sounds pretty awesome. I want more passive income in my life. I don't know about you, but yeah, I'll take more of that. So that's pretty cool. So Keller Williams, we designed a system for you to share in the profits of a company like an owner would. So your OP, right, or maybe some other investors in your market center, they have chosen to align with Keller Williams, knowing that just shy of half the profits that they could take themselves, no, they're sharing it back to the agents. Every time I take a step and really, truly go deeper than face value in that, it amazes me, right? It inspires me. So, okay, great. Asking the question, they designed that system and it's a benefit to us, but the cool thing is you're able to tap into this without any personal risks or investing any capital money yourself. So that means no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, and no phone calls, no commitment there to make phone calls. You don't have to do that in order to grow your profit share. So who benefits? Well, yeah, you, your family, your heirs. This is actually willable to one generation, any profit share that you establish. Your market center and the people, so other people that win your market center, the people the people that influence to join Keller Williams, right? You're influencing them. You're introducing them to Keller Williams. So you're helping the market center grow. That's the whole intent here, right? To help this KW family grow with people that make sense, where it's a win-win and we're in alignment of where we want to go. And so we all grow together. Again, this is the epitome of our culture, that through profit share, everyone wins in this system for those who are committed to growing the market centers, growing your opportunity. So there's also know that there's growth share. Profit share is lived locally here in the United States and also Canada, but also growth share. You actually have the benefit to have passive income there. It's helped to grow KW outside of US and Canada. So any associate can participate and reap the rewards of passive income outside of profit share through growth share. So, right, if you happen to be traveling to a country and there's not really a big Keller Williams presence there, but you know there's real estate being done there's possibly a huge opportunity for profit share for you. All right, so where we're going to go next here is to kind of dive a little bit more deeper into KWX and what all that entails. We'll go to AHAs here in a second. Yet I'm going to go to, make sure we're in line here, KWX companies. All right, so there are a lot of resources. Well, I should say resources we've touched on, but I want to kind of bring them together here, right? So no, as I mentioned before, the goal of Keller Williams, it's to keep you you, the agent, at the center of the home buying and owning experience, right? To be able to provide extreme value, to be the connector for your clients and your clients for life. So Keller Williams Realty, right? We've been joined by KW Worldwide, Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered, all that you see here, Keller Offers, to make sure that you are the center. These are tools in your tool belt. That's how I want you to see these. That these are your tools in your tool belt to provide more value to your clients. Right? And once they become your clients, they're your clients for life. These services, these tools in your tool belt, are outside of the transaction, values that are outside the transaction as well. All right. So when we bring up these companies, like especially Keller Mortgage, know that while these are tools for you as Keller Williams agents, it's also important that we're within the bounds of RESPA, the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, right? So there is a piece here that I do have to read. So bear with me here. Yet, pursuant to RESPA, Keller Williams Agents Associates must provide an ABA disclosure to the consumer at or before any referral is made to Keller Mortgage. More information on RESPA and the ABA disclosure can be found on kwconnect.com. Reach out to your market center leadership, knowing what that ABA disclosure is, right? So before you communicate, especially Keller Mortgage, you want to make sure you have that ABA disclosure. All right. So know that you'll have more opportunities to learn about this later in Ignite, but do have to mention that don't just take Keller Mortgage and run with it. Like you want to have your due diligence and follow within the laws of RESPA. And so make sure that you have that ABA disclosure. Okay. Next year we have a growing, I should say, arms of Keller Williams, and that's our KW communities. All right. Now, so at Keller Williams, we strive to meet the needs of all associates, right? Strive, and it's an ongoing process, right? New needs come up, new opportunities that didn't previously exist come into existence, and we get the opportunity to say, hey, how do we form a resource or a group and support this, right? So yes, we meet the needs of all associates, but including those who solely specialize in a specific niche in real estate. So there are agents who choose to only help clients with commercial needs, like such office buildings, retail space. But other agents are finding great success catering to clients in sports and entertainment fields. So, okay, what's all this mean? KW Communities, bring this in here. KW Communities, it provides an arena, an environment for these specialties. So along with targeted services and marketing. So agents who become members of one or more of these communities, you may be offered additional resources such as marketing, materials designed specifically for them, specific masterminds, skill sets that would achieve a greater success in that niche, right? So ask yourself, as you're seeing this list, we got diversity, equity, inclusion, KW commercial, land, luxury, military, new homes, sports and entertainment, new professionals. Which one speaks to you, right? Jumps off the page. Which one kind of jumps off the page? Like, yeah, I'd like to know more about that and how it can help me get to where I want to go. Grow my business, help me maybe understand my niche a little bit, or maybe a niche I wasn't aware of, right? Seek that out. Ask your market center leadership. I just saw X. I want to know more about how I can plug in. Okay, so we're going to take a break here because I know we just went over a lot of KW resources from our technology and also our value from KWX and our services, our companies that are within KWX, your market center value. What I want you to do here, I want you to go to your participants guide. And on your participants guide, we are looking at page 12. On page 12, I want you to take 5 minutes here. We're going to take a 5-minute break. And in this break, find out who your leadership team in ALC is. And you might be able to find out some language of real estate or market center vision there, but be able to identify who's your market center leadership, the OP, TL, MCA, market center, tech trainer, director of agent service, director of first impressions, all these folks. Who's on my team? If you're not presently aware, be aware of that before we get back. If you already know that and you feel like you got that pretty, write out other ahas from this, something that you didn't realize was a resource beforehand that might provide value in the current gap that you have in your business. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take that 5-minute break, write down any additional ahas on page 12 that come to mind. And then we're going to get back into designing your vision, your vision for your future, and how we're going to build that out through your business. Okay, we're back from making sure you identify your market center leadership and ahas, and we're also back with Krista. You're
Happy to be
back.
back.
You were
Yeah.
gone for a minute.
And my electricity went out.
Yeah, I got the text. You know what? Crazy things happen. I'm glad the lights are still on.
Yes.
And let's bring on some more lights. Let's ignite some more. How's that sound?
Sounds great to me.
All right. So we're going to move forward in our agenda today and focus on your career vision. So this is where it's about you and what you intend to build. All right. So this is the fun part. All right. So you've been introduced with all KW has to offer, and we're going to focus on your goals, your dreams, your vision. So ask yourself, and this is rhetorical, think about it. As I go through these, you don't have to answer out loud. We won't take time to do that yet. What drew you to this career? What was the draw into real estate? Well, what first excited you about this career, this possibility? What did you see? What did you hope for that you intend to achieve for yourself and your family through real estate and other opportunities it provides? So the exercise that we're going to do here, and I'm going to walk through, we're going to visualize where we can be in 1 year from now. Okay. So on your participant guides, we're going to jump over to page 1.14, page 14. And Krista, we've got this, your vision, your future.
All right. So let's imagine 1 year from today, write the date on your participant guide. So a year from today, this is what happened over the last 12 years or 12 years, 12 months. And as you look back and reflect. So some things that you can put on there, if you look at the bullet points, your business is thriving and your life is everything you ever dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they think of real estate. Your family and friends are so proud of you and your successes, and they are consistently referring your business your way. You're helping others live their dream of owning the home, the American dream, because you are focused on helping them get what they deserve. You're building a foundation and momentum for your entire career, gaining relationships and experiences, and your income is what you desire. You're in the top agent in your market center. Oh, what does that feel like? Or you're rookie of the year. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. You are on the path to, what would that be? Fill in the blank. If this were your life, how would it make you feel? So what we're going to ask you to do is take a couple minutes and write out your last year, or I'm sorry, your future year of what it looks like. What do you have accomplished in the next year?
All right. Yeah. So we'll jump into, we'll take, we'll allot a few minutes for this, and we'll come back and share those ahas. All right, and we're back. All right, so a wonderful exercise. Hopefully, gain some insights there and some inspiration. So let's expand our thinking beyond 1 year here. Okay, so we're on the next page here, page 15 of your participant guide, and we're going to focus on your big life. So thinking beyond 1 year, what are you doing for the people you care about most beyond just this first year of real estate? What charities would you support? How would you make the lives of yourself and everyone around you better? All right. So for this next activity, we're going to take a few more minutes and we're going to complete this chart. Now you see here on the slide some examples of living a big life, but this is for you. You're going to take ownership of this. So in the boxes around the middle, fill in the people and the projects you care about the most. All right. So add more boxes if needed, right? You're not limited just to ones on your page. Actually encourage you, what else beyond those boxes are you passionate about? So what we also want to do here, in each box, add the amount that you would like to spend on each of those purposes. All right. So for example, you want to pay for both your children's college tuition, or pay off your home, your car, donate money to a local soccer field, whatever it is. Okay. You want to put in the dollar amount there. So finally, after you've filled in all the boxes with the dollar amount, you're going to add up all the numbers along with what you need for your own lifestyle. All right. Your own lifestyle also include debt and investments, and write down that amount, that sum, in the middle box. Okay. Now this is gonna be some big thinking here. All right. And don't limit yourself. We talked about limiting beliefs. Throw those to the side. All right. Don't limit yourself here. Avoid thinking I'll never be able to afford 120,000 in tuition. Just put it in. Whatever comes to mind, put a dollar amount, put it in there. Don't second guess it. All right. Don't stop the flow of inspiration there. Just put in what you desire to spend. All right. So know this. Ignite is working about on those skills and habits to get that will get you what you want. It begins with thinking. So don't stop. All right. So we're going to allow a few minutes. And we're going to pause. We're going to step away. Go ahead and work on this exercise. Fill out your boxes, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. All right, so I trust that you leaned into that activity and you surprised yourself. You thought bigger, and that new that amount that you put in the middle is big, right? So it's important to establish this mindset, a mindset of caring and gratitude, along with your goals at the beginning of this journey, your future. Again, good habits we're starting. So even jobs you love have moments, where you struggle to find motivation. So during Ignite, you'll learn a lot about the ins and outs, how to find and keep business. You'll learn everything you need to get a deal to the closing table. So know that the more connected you are with what you want to do, what you want to do with the success, the more you'll find that success. Right? This is the inspiration through those tough moments of the transaction. This is what spurs you on. This is the why behind the what you're doing. It's very important to keep in mind.
Love that.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
As you go through Ignite, look for ways you're limiting your own success and remove the barriers you're putting in your own way. Be especially aware of those limiting beliefs that can creep in what are going to creep in if you're not careful. Connect to your goals and push through and achieve your goals. At KW, we believe in thinking big. We never limit ourselves to thinking average or anything else less than big. Everyone has a big why. The big why is what you're most passionate about. It's your big why.
Mm-hmm.
Along with your mindset, attitude, it's what drives you.
Mm-hmm.
What stirs your soul? Think beyond business. What really drives you? Is it money? Is it freedom? Is it providing for your family? Is it college tuition? Is it building a legacy for your future, maybe for your kids, supporting a charity? What is it? Take a moment to write down in your participant guide what your big why is. And just remember, it's okay to not have one. Sometimes you got to take the little whys that will make one big why. So we're going to step aside. We're going to go ahead and take a couple minutes and write down our big why. So welcome back. Anyone can achieve the goals set in this course. Not everyone will. What's going to set you apart from everyone else? As Gary Keller says, to achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. Your big why. The journey requires discipline and commitment to follow model systems and a schedule every day. It requires passion toward bigger than the task at hand, which is your big why. First, have a big why built around your passion. How do you develop passion? It's by doing more things so you can see what you're passionate about. Then follow the models. You're going to learn those models in this course. Keep doing it. You will achieve grand success. Once you have a strong big why, the how doesn't matter. To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. Your big why, to fuel your big why, will take money. Okay. To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. Your big why. And to fuel that big why, it will take money. An income goal.
Yeah, Krista, yeah, that's so good. Really, really good. And while we're talking big ideas about big why, right? It's also necessary to talk logistics around how we fund those big whys. So let's kind of get real about commissions, how we fund that profit for our big why. Okay, let's So yeah, in that last activity, you estimated how much you'd like to earn to pay for the things that are most important to you. So in getting real about these commissions, let's bring some realities here. So many new agents, when they get that check, first closing, pocket it all. Maybe never gotten a check that big before, and they're just put it in the pocket real quick. And it's because it's an exciting amount of money. And then they get in trouble kind of down the line a little bit. So let's talk about where the money goes. Now you see a visual here. This is kind of the end of the journey of the dollar, the commission dollar that you get. So bear with us here. Stick with us, the visual. So these numbers are very general. So know this, and they're meant only as an example. Okay. So these are no hard, fast set commission splits or percentages or anything, just as a general example. All right. And especially if you're on a team. All right, so here's what we're going to walk through. So I'm going to explain that a total commission is typically split if you're on a team, like say 50-50, if you're the buyer's agent and the listing agent. All right. So, and then from there, out of the money that is left, a third goes to the market center to cover company dollar, franchise royalties, fees, other things for the cost of doing business locally in the office there. Right. So after those splits are taken away, right, explain that after you pay the money at the market center, about a third goes back into your business to cover marketing, operating expenses, signs, your car, your phone, anything else that you would need to conduct your business. All right. So as we have those expenses and those costs of sales, it's kind of revealing about what actually is left. And it's not to be a discouragement at all yet, but you finally get your share. And there's a reason why we say this, because there's actually a lot different than thinking you're getting the full 3% payout or whether that big check was, right? So here's an important habit out of all this, out of realizing what actually is usable income and to fulfill that big why. The important habit is to start now understanding this. Put money away for your taxes. See a lot of agents getting burned by that when it's too late, or pushing taxes down the road, hoping more deals come and getting caught. So pay your taxes religiously every quarter. You do not want to have a year's worth of work just wiped out because you failed to plan for that, right? So just ask yourself, as we're commission based, realize that full commission check as you're looking at it, right? That there are, as a business owner, there's a cost of doing business. There's expenses that are your investment that you should expect a return out of. Right. As a business owner, it's your responsibility to know what is left and what is actually funding your big why there.
And can I add something in there, Clark?
Absolutely.
Because I've seen it. I've been in this business for a while, and people that don't realize that they have to pay taxes, and all of a sudden tax season comes up and they have a very big bill. Mm-hmm. And they have to pay Uncle Sam. And it's a great business practice to get used to putting, hire a CPA so they know, exactly what you have to put towards taxes, because no one wants to get that bill. Mm-mm. That is not a fun phone call to get. No. And so plan ahead. You're a business owner now. And this is the cost of doing business, taxes. So
For sure. Yeah. Well, and again, this is not meant to be a discouragement at all. So our next exercise that we have here, this is intended of you have that big why, you want to fund it, and there is a cost of doing business, there is a cost of sales, and so let's design that out. How do you hit that goal, knowing that there are this income and then there's little pieces of expenses here? All right, so let's walk through this here, Krista.
Okay. So how many houses must you sell or buy in the next 12 months to reach your net income goal?
Hmm.
How many of you know that?
I didn't at first. I know that. It's like,
You what? You didn't know?
no, not off the bat. No.
No, it's our economic model.
Mhm.
And this is an example of your income goal. And so we're going to walk you through it to know, well, what you'll need to know in this is what your average sales price is and the average commission. Typically, we put in here the 3% because in a lot of markets, it's, on the buyer side, it's one commission. On the listing side, it's another commission. So we just take the average. And that would come out to the gross commission income of the transaction.
Mhm.
So Clark, do you want to walk us through this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So again, knowing your key, your sales price in there, ask your market center leadership, your ALC members to get an identification what that is, and average commission rate. There, we track that at Keller Williams in the office. So ask knowing that is. So once you get that gross GCI, you'll see in this example here, we kind of walk through. So in this example, the net income goal, it's at the top. So see net income as what I'd like to have pre-tax. Okay. I like to have pre-taxes. Right. And so in this example, this is an average commission of 9,000, just as an example. So what we're doing here is estimating what we need to save for, what we need to pay for their own taxes 4 times a year. Okay. So A on this is your annual net income goal, how much you want to make before taxes. B is the maximum amount you would expect to pay your office, your market center. Again, it's going to be different based on your local market. Then C is your annual business expenses. This includes salaries, most lead gen, and marketing expenses, education, right? This one's free. Woo. And then D is your total GCI, which is the total of A, B, and C added together, right? And again, this is a goal setting. This is an exercise to understand how much you want to make. Now, on this D, this is again how much money you'll need to earn from the transactions, yes, to pay the market center and to pay your expenses to hit your income goal, right? So this whole process, if you haven't caught it yet, it's beginning with the end in mind, and we're doing these calculations from beginning on the front end of how much business we need. So we move to E. E is an average GCI per transaction, again, as this example here, based on 9,000. And then finally, F, when we get down to it, is how many transactions you'll need to hit the goal, right? Based on your average GCI. So to get that number, simple math here, we're going to divide D by E. All right. Now, I know you might have thought, I thought I was past math with the real estate exam. Like I thought I was done. I didn't have to know what a hectare was or anything else. Bear with us. This is hopefully powerful. So lean in. All right. It's because this is going to be your turn. So what we're going to do, you're going to be in your guide, right? On page, make sure I get this right. We're on page 16. Okay. And you'll see all these broken down as well for you. If you're unsure of what that is, okay, or what these are, what your specific average commission is, or your company dollar cap, use the example that's in here. But we want you to fill this out based on your net income goal. Net income goal is something that only you can answer, right? How much you want to be able to make pre-taxes. Again, think back to that big life you want to live and what you put in the middle. All right. So you'll get a better understanding of this. All right. As time goes on and more transactions come through. And yet know that you're not in this alone. You have your market center leadership, your MCA, your TL, and ALC. They'll help walk you through this. But again, put your net income goal through there. Walk through this And we want to really identify at the end what your annual transaction goal is. Okay. Chris, anything else to add before we jump in?
No, not right at this time. So I think we're going to break away here for a couple minutes and allow them to work on this with the people that are in the room with them. Or, if you have somebody leading the room, they can walk you through this. So take a couple minutes now and we'll come back and move on.
All right.
Welcome back. The goal of Ignite is to equip you with the mindset, skills, and tools you need to secure your first appointment and reach a successful close on buying or selling a house. Your daily success system includes the essential daily lead generation activities to get you there. The daily goal for your Ignite experience is 1, 10 conversations. 2 is 10 contacts in your database. The third one is handwritten notes, another 10. 4 is to utilize the 10-5-1 model for social media engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5th one, other enrichment offered at the end of each lesson, which you'll learn more about as we move through Ignite. After all, the first job of real estate agent is to lead generate. The activity of generating leads is the foundation of your business, your 20%. In addition, practicing conversations and dialogues will prepare you for success. Success is measured in appointments, signed agreements, signed contracts, and closed sales.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, before we get involved in conversations with contacts and lead generating, we must remember to comply with the TCPA and do not call regulations. We review this every Ignite session because it's so critical that you protect yourself and your market center from any legal action.
Yeah, that's what we get to add in, and we have to, and we get to be the good stewards of our profession. Right. We want to make sure we're treating people well. And that's what I love about the TCPA, even though it feels restrictive and we don't want it to be fearful, right? It's allowing to reach out to people. So we'll go through that in a second. But Krista, one thing I'm really excited about Ignite, because we'll walk like every single day, right? And we kind of mentioned this at the beginning, we'll have instruction time and work through some exercises, but then we jump into the daily success activities. Now, today, your market center may not be hosting these daily success activities as it's not part of the program for day one. But know once we get into session 2, this is where you're going to hit the ground running, right? We're going to have those 10 real estate conversations, 10 contacts out of the database, 10 handwritten notes. All that is actually not new to Ignite. Those first 10, like that's what we've always ran through. We call it the daily 10-4. But the newness of Ignite and what we're really excited about is what we know is the impact of social media and being able to gain business and being present is almost an industry standard. So this new 10-5-1 model for social media, in case you're wondering what's 10-5-1 for that, it's 10 reactions. So whether you're on Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn, reacting to other people's posts, the thumbs up, the sad, heart hug, whatever it might be, reacting to 10 people's posts, commenting on 5 people's posts, and then having a direct conversation with one person through the messenger or otherwise. So that's a new piece of Ignite. We're super excited about to be personal. That's every day. All right.
Yeah. Also, Clark, is that, we talk about having a business plan. And if you don't have a business plan, this is one that you can rip off and duplicate. We call it R&D. And so we look at the 1 through 4, that could be your business plan every week. So something to think about. If you don't know what to put in that business plan, take this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, love that. So just want to introduce that, and yet we are going to, there is the daily success, and that is also in your participant guide. We're going to move forward here because this is an important piece that we do need to understand, and we do want to communicate. All right. So yes, as Krista mentioned, every day in class, we're going to make calls to people. We're getting in a relationship that we know we're connected to. Yeah. Before we make calls, any calls or texts, please remember to honor the TCPA. Right. And do not call us, including those of your market center and state. So if you have any questions or concerns about this, please consult your market center or attorney to ensure you're compliant. Also check any market center and state do not call lists. If you don't have one, ask for one, obtain one. Refer to the guidelines in your participant guide. There is one there for you to see for more details. So these guidelines are for your protection. Please know that, right? As well as protection of your clients. So
I have one thing in there. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Is the dialers. Also check your local laws for dialer systems, because there's triple dialers, there's double dialers, and just make sure that that is not something that's a violation in your state.
Yeah, for sure. Good piece there. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on along here and talking more about this daily success system. So our success system requires that we talk to people every day. And there's a couple of ways we can see it. Either we have to talk or we get to talk. I trust and hope we're in a place that we get to talk with people, right? So it's important to know what to say, and we will help you throughout Ignite, exactly what to say. So we're going to walk through, because I don't know, Ignite, Chris, I remember the first time I was at Ignite, knowing that there was a script or have to call people. Like I started getting sweaty right then. I hadn't even picked up the phone yet. So yeah, here's the great thing. We're going to give you a script or a key conversation that's going to be natural, and you're going to love it. All right. So stay with us here. You're going to have conversations of care and gratitude. So know that. So you will check in with people. You're going to offer value and assistance. And notice I didn't say that you're calling to ask people to buy or sell. Right. That's not what we're going to walk through today. All right. Because there's a better way to gain confidence, right? And to break through this ceiling of achievement and to stay in touch with people. So when they think of real estate, they think of you. Key in on this: conversation strengthens relationships, right? The conversations and your confidence in them, it's going to strengthen those relationships. So let's do it in a way that shows care and gratitude. All right. So, it's important to understand those power of those words and understand the importance of practicing conversations every day, right? Practicing them every single day. Practicing and internalizing conversations and dialogues, it's going to allow your business to grow. And think about this, all right? We all routinely visit a doctor, hopefully, right? And so that doctor, They learn anatomy before working with clients, right? I hope they would, right?
Yeah, I hope
Yes, yeah. And so agents also, just as much as a professional, we prepare to have meaningful conversations with clients. So using purposeful language helps you get to the end point. And the end point of these conversations, yes, it's the strength of that relationship, yet the result is an appointment to meet with them, to hear more about how you can help them. Appointments are a great thing. And to get, of course, to the closed transaction, to get them to where they want to go. All right. So knowing and practicing what to say, it's going to help you communicate that value and provide value to the lead or client. All right. So proper conversation is going to help you uncover those motivations, around how you can really help them, and you get to practice it. So practicing these questions is going to allow you to be able to quickly share the information that's relevant, to not make any assumptions, and it's going to build your confidence away than you have it. And the way I like to summarize in these conversations at the heart of it, Krista, you and I both know as coaches, it's powerful to stay curious. Right? We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. These conversations allow you to naturally be curious, and you're going to get better and better at it.
I always say, put on your board, if you have somewhere to, write inspirational things, stay in curiosity and circle it. That you're always remembering that, what else do I need to know about this? It's very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. All right. So we're going to ask you to kind of review these phrases on the slide here. Okay. And these phrases, just to make sure we're aware which ones we're talking. Think about these. Did you find everything you were looking for? Go ahead, look around, and please let me know if I can help you. These are great. I just love it. Hey, I see you admiring that big screen TV. Are you looking to get one for the big game this weekend? But granted, I might not be, a great big box store electronics salesperson. Maybe not. Yeah, you all probably heard these phrases, right? Or ones that are similar, right? You probably resonate with that. So think through maybe some other examples of a purchase that you received, maybe walking onto a car lot, and those taglines or those phrases that you've heard. So here, know this: those phrases that are on the slide, hey, they're typically well known and commonly used in sales and service. And these phrases are the ones that are real estate focused, are only successful when it's combined with the person's knowledge of that industry, whether it's electronics or cars or real estate, right? So in these questions, it's only powerful when it's combined with the knowledge that helps people get to what they want. All right. So know that these questions, they should be seen as a tool, that the questions that we'll share here in a bit, it's seen as a tool that are essential in getting your job done, building a relationship, staying curious, getting to know more about where they want to go, because you always want to aim to be 100% customer oriented, and of course, and benefit the customer throughout the entire transaction.
Love that.
Yeah,
very much so. And you can also reframe these that would work for your open house.
Yeah.
So yeah, think about how those could be reframed. So in Ignite, we're going to have conversations with people we know and want to stay in relationship with. We call these people our sphere, or our sphere of influence, or as Keller Williams likes those acronyms, an SOI. Your sphere of influence are people you have met, or they're people you know, trust, and respect, and vice versa, that they know, respect, trust, and respect you. They're most likely to help you. After all, people like to do business with people that they know, trust, and respect. The contacts in your phone are a good place for you to look for your sphere. I mean, think about how many people are in your phone. Your sphere of influence is more than just friends and family. Would you prefer to do business with people that you know? Or would you like to do business with people that you respect? Yes. And do you think your friends and acquaintances would rather use a realtor that they know and trust, or someone else? According to the National Association of Realtors, and this one, we hear this all the time, Clark, I know, is that 66% of sellers and 41% of buyers found their agent through a friend, neighbor, or relative, or used an agent they had worked with before. It costs nothing to call people, does it? No. And when you get into this business, you think, well, gosh, I don't have the money to put forward. You don't need to if you pick up the phone and call people. It requires fewer contacts and less effort to ask them for their business or to refer you to their friend or family.
Yeah, Chris, this one still stings me this day because I remember moving to the market that I'm in here in St. Louis, and I had a very small sphere of my wife's family. So I was looking to grow my sphere by strangers, by open houses. Right, my lead source was open houses, and did 2 every weekend for a very long time. And as I met people and got rapport and had their numbers and follow up, there was more instances than I would care to share that, you know what, I really appreciate your follow-up. You were great. Yet my dad actually has his realtor that he's been using and he recommended him and went with them. Or actually one of my buddies from college just let me know he was in real estate. He just got into real estate and he's getting ready to go. I was trying to do all I can to meet strangers and get to know them and have them know, like, and trust me. It was so much more effort. Not to say it wasn't a worthy effort. It was. And yet, man, that sphere, SOI, it's so easy to tap into.
Yeah. And you'll actually find out that people that you never thought would help you are willing to help you and will refer people to you. You just have to ask the questions.
Sure. All right. So yeah, moving on here. Here's a fun little graph. It's one of my favorites. I remember Jason Abrams drawing this for one of our leadership. So this graph, hang with us here. It depicts when people are likely to move. All right, which NAR says has found the average person moves every 7 to 10 years. All right. So the peaks that we see here, that's the moment a person moves. So at the very summit, at the very top, those are moving moments. Right, as we see that time frame. So as they purchase, you'll see the likelihood scale on the left-hand side. As they purchase, the likelihood of a move falls into a trough at the bottom. So over time, the likelihood of a move kind of builds back up again every 72 years. So your job as a realtor is to have a relationship throughout that home ownership. So you are top of mind when they're beginning to consider another move. Or they know someone else who has a real estate need, right? So if you don't talk to them for 8 years after a deal, you got to ask yourself, well, why would they call you first when they're ready to move, right? So ask yourself this question, again, thinking through, put yourself in this mindset. How would you feel if your friends or family only called you when they wanted something from you?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, right. Maybe some people popped in mind there, right? Well, yeah. Would you feel, like they really cared about you? I mean, do you trust people that you think care about your money more than you do? Right? Do you want to talk to them and do business with them? Yeah, possibly not. All right. And so think this through and people that are in your sphere, right? And this is why we want to stay in contact with people consistently over time. When you continually offer value, and that's why I like this graphic here, because you see those little notches there, right? All those notches are touches of value in relationship, right? So when the time comes, it's a natural byproduct that they're going to reach out to you out of the relationship you've consistently added, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to actually ask you to do here, we're going to add 5 to 7 people from your sphere to the waves model in your participant guide. So you've got this guide here. All right. So I want you to add 5 to 7 people from your sphere to the waves on the model, if that makes sense. All right. We got the little notches there, 5 to 7 people that come to mind. So think through this and do this as we go through here. Who do you know that has recently moved? That's a prompt, right? So 5 to 7 people, who has recently moved? 2 or 3 people come to mind. Put their name on those little notches, those little slashes on the line there. Who might be thinking about moving soon? Who might be moving soon? And that's a little bit of a struggle. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm in real estate. I'm trying to find that out.
The
Think
more
about life
people you
events. Who's possibly getting married? Chris, anything else to add there?
Yeah, well, I just said you don't know unless you talk to enough people.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So if anybody does come to mind, if they happen to through that exercise, that might need to be your first 10 conversations. All right, make them a part of those first 10 conversations when we go to the daily success activity. So, all right, if I make those part of my 10 first conversations, what do I say, Krista? What do we do? I don't want to just be on the phone and be awkward. What do I say?
Oh, the Ford, of course. I mean, who hasn't heard of the Ford? Well, if you haven't, that's okay. We're going to take you through the Ford model. So this is Ford. Basically, we talk about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Throughout Ignite, you're going to hear about the Ford model. And we're going to use it when we lead generate or when we connect with people. You're going to have several conversations with another participant in class. This is the beginning of practicing conversations, which you will engage in every day of your real estate career. This is the practice that makes perfect. So what we're going to do is each person will lead the conversation by asking Ford questions. Person A will ask first, and person B will respond. Then person B will ask, and person A will respond. They are to repeat the process 3 times. That's what you're going to do. You're going to repeat this process 3 times, asking slightly different questions. Hey, Clark, what do you think the reason is that we would be doing this 3 full times?
Well, knowing how natural conversations occur, there's probably going to be opportunity to ask 3 good natural questions on these phone calls.
Well, and it's practice. What happens when we keep doing it? It beds in our mind and it becomes who we are, becomes our questions. So what we're going to do is ask questions like, how is your family doing? I heard you had a new baby. Woo. Are you still working at company ABC? Are you enjoying that? And any changes in the works? Did you ever get that boat you talked about so you're not renting one all the time? Are you still thinking of retiring in the mountains one day? These are great questions that you can ask. And the other thing is, if you don't know the questions to ask, we have something called Facebook that some of you may be part of. You could go on there and kind of look to see what they have going on. Maybe you didn't know that they had a new baby and you see it on Facebook. And now you can have that conversation with them. Yeah. So we're going to take about 10 minutes and practice these conversations. So everyone get a partner if you're going to stay with the same partner in the beginning or grab another partner. And we're going to take some time here, about 12 minutes, for you to practice the Ford model. I say that, the Ford script. I go back to the Ford, the automobile.
Model T. T for transactions. I don't know. I'm being
Yeah.
all right. All right. We'll come back in 10 or we'll give it 12 minutes. Make sure you can find that partner.
Welcome back. How did that go? What ahas do you have this time? What questions, concerns, or comments do you have? Each day in Ignite, you're going to grow in how you think, feel, act, and implement what you've learned. From learning and ahas, you will move towards your big life. And that's where we are right now, to achieve our big goals. Taking time to reflect on what you have learned is important, building your confidence and celebrating your growth.
Yeah, Chris, that's important. And so what we be able to do at the end of Ignite is, okay, taking what we learned, what we do, get into action, right? And so that'll be just before wrapping up on the content, but yet we're also going to lead into the daily success. And now, we mentioned previously, the daily success system may not begin today, right? I mean, and even based on our schedule that we have here, if your market center is going to have their daily success system, if it's going to be in the market center where you're role playing that forward conversation, you're going to lead generate together, you're going to add to the database and write notes together, capture that moment. You want to be there. You're going to grow together in that. And yet, what is also preventing you from having those 10 conversations on the off days that we're not on Ignite, right? Because we're going about every other day throughout until about July 4th, right? Are you choosing to work those days? Are you choosing to get paid are you choosing to get paid that day? Right? So ask yourself that question. So the daily success system, even though it's not happening possibly in the market center every single day, please consider still doing these activities. So in our next session here, it'll go live on May the 11th, and it's Embrace Your Job. So Rachel Lusk, excited to have her on as an instructor. That will be probably the first opportunity for you to step into the market center and begin making calls. So find somebody maybe to practice that for a conversation with, whether it's a significant other, a kiddo, nephew, niece, puppy, dog, whoever it is. Right, get cozy with that, but possibly before our next live stream or when you're having the daily success activities. But yet we're wrapped up here, Krista. This is our introduction to Ignite and session 1. And so I know we went through a lot.
Yes, we did.
Who Keller Williams is, who you are, and what you want out of life.
Everyone knows you.
Yeah. I am so glad you joined back in. I was like, all right, let's roll with it. I got this, but I'm so glad that you helped anchor this in for us today. So, Krista, thank you so much for being here. And
I'm glad to be here. And can I just add one more thing before we sign off?
Yeah, of course.
Is we had talked about doing doing the activities in between.
Mm-hmm.
Coach. If you don't have a coach in your market center, join the productivity coaching. That's someone that can hold you accountable, or get a peer that can hold you accountable. So that the highest form of accountability is peer accountability, and you all partnered up with someone today. Maybe they can be your accountability partner. Just a thought.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, take action, get into it. Don't second guess it. Push those limiting beliefs out of the way. Y'all got this. We're in it with you. We're excited to see you back. And if from any of this, reach out to your market center leadership if you find success. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it out. Let it come back to us. We'd love to be able to celebrate that with you all on our Facebook page and show your results. So we trust you're going to take this and run with it and make your life by design. Catch y'all later.
See you later.
Bye.